Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss 10 skills that will still prevail in this AI world. Number 1, complex problem solving skill. We keep on hearing a lot nowadays that AI is coming and it will take the job. In fact, AI is already there and it has been there since so many decades. But please understand the kind of AI that we have today, that is a weak AI. We still don't have very strong AI where we can have human-like interaction with the AI, at least not into the masses or at least not available for the public. So if we see the kind of AI that is made available to the public right now, the highest version of the intelligence in the AI is definitely the large language models, and ChatGPT is a fantastic example for that. But still, the AI that we are having right now, which is available for the masses, is still into pattern recognition, trying to identify various ideas through the data set that was previously generated. So we still don't have something which will come suddenly and will kill the humanity, which some people say nowadays, right? Still, if that thing has to happen, it is still way ahead, maybe more than the lifetime of all of us who are watching this video right now. But still, in the modern day world, you will see that at least for 30-40 years, complex problem solving skills will always prevail. When I say complex, that means the skill sets which are required to solve non-routine problems. Already the problems which are routine in nature, that means which require similar type of efforts to solve every day, every time, in every iteration, are pretty much automated due to the machine learning and AI. But still there are a lot of problems which prevail, which revolve cognitive efforts from the mankind. That's the reason why you see that we are not able to replace CEOs or CXOs with the AI. AI is still assisting them in making the better decision. But still, when it comes to solving complex problem, the shareholders, the company, the board of director will still rely on the CEOs who can be assisted by the AI. Second skill that will still prevail is critical thinking. The problem that is happening right now is the reduced attention span. Just see to your left and right. I have seen people driving two-wheelers with their mobile phone on and they are watching some reels and they are watching some videos or reading some SMS. Are you able to understand what is happening? We have reduced our attention span. Imagine what was the last time when you read 30-40 pages of a book. So if we can't focus, there is no way in which we can think or we can reflect about our life. That's the reason majority of the people got trapped into having experiences after experiences. So it's called as an experiential trap, where you just want more experiences, you want more movies, you want more videos, you want more reels, you want more content being thrown at your side, but you're not able to reflect on that. Because when the time comes for reflection on anything, you are moving towards the new experience once again. So this craving for new experience has led to a reduced attention span, because of which we are not able to think critically. And when I say critical thinking, it does not mean trying to criticize some aspect. When I say critical thinking, it is ability to understand the second order, third order thinking of any decision or any nuances which are happening around you. So how to think on order 2, order 3, that is something which critical thinking helps us to do. So if you are having critical thinking, I can assure you, you will still be doing excellent in the world of AI. Third thing, or the third skill which will still prevalent, is the creativity. We see that definitely large language models, ChatGPT has brought that element of creativity where we are able to do a lot of creative stuff like poetry or writing essays or writing books in a jiffy. But still, as I said, it is being learned through the historical data set. So it's a supervised machine learning. Still, we don't have that kind of capabilities where dynamically machine can learn and reproduce in masses, at least for the public. These things are available into the research laboratory of various big companies. But I'm talking about availability of such kind of things for free for the public is still not very near, because of the kind of cost which is associated with the dynamic machine learning of these models and reproducing the text while learning it dynamically into the masses, availability for the masses for people across the globe. So therefore, if you still have that creative mindset, if you still have that your right brain is something which is able to create artistic viewpoints or it is emotional in nature, I can assure you that although they say that for decision making, left brain is always useful, but in the world where everyone is thinking through the left brain and where everyone is trying to make decision analytically, if you have a human touch, if you have an emotional touch, if you have some mindset towards the emotional intelligence, I can assure you that you will do really, really well. Fourth skill, which is useful in the modern day AI world, is people management. We still don't have that kind of capabilities where chatbots can handle the mankind, right? All of us have had got that irritating experience where a chatbot was not able to understand what we are trying to say, or even whatever we are saying, even through our voice, it was not able to recognize. Forget about the text. So therefore, you will observe that there are still people managers or people leaders who are responsible for motivating people, who are responsible for guiding people, showcasing that how the work has to be done, guiding them how they can grow in their career path. And still, if you have that kind of a skill set, you will do excellent in this modern day AI world, along with the AI technologies which are available like chatbots, virtual personal assistants, and so on and so forth. Fifth skill, which is almost going on extinction, is coordination with others. If you like coordinating in a team, if you are able to listen to the people before you give your opinions, I can assure you, you will do wonderful in this modern day world. As I said, we humans are having reduced attention span because of continuous interaction with the technology, which is leading to kind of an anxiety where we are not ready to listen to what others are saying. And even while we are listening, we are trying to calculate in our mind what kind of response I would like to give. And in such kind of scenario, you jump before the other guy is trying to finish his or her sentence. And let me tell you, nothing can be worse than interrupting someone who is your colleague or your manager, or even someone who is just trying to put a complaint to you. It is not necessarily the complaint about you, but it is something which they want to share with you because they think you are the right person to listen to those complaints. I can assure you, and I have seen also amongst the manager, the capabilities to listen to the issues of their employees is reducing drastically. Always they are in hurry, and whenever the meetings are conducted, usually manager will try to dictate what kind of thought process he or she has towards the people who are reporting to him or her. And that could be the worst way of coordinating with others, because when you say you are coordinating with others, the first thing is listen to what other people are saying during the meeting, or anyone who is the below the hierarchy than you. You want to give an ear to them so as to understand what is their concern, and before you give a kind of a decision, you want to ensure that you have understood them completely. So coordinating with others is a skill set which if you are able to develop, and it will always happen by practice. I can recommend multiple books to you, but that won't solve the problem. You have to keep it into the practice on a day-to-day basis so as to understand the nuances, make the mistake, learn once again where you have made the mistake, and that's where once again the reflection comes into the picture. So all these skills that I'm going to discuss, that I have discussed before and I'm going to discuss further, are something which are interconnected with each other. So if you are able to develop the reflection mindset, if you are able to reflect upon the things that have happened with you, you will be able to understand where you are defaulting, where you are creating problems for the others, or where your behavior was not in line with what your people were expecting from you. So slowly and gradually you will improvise on that aspect, and you will realize that people will start to love you in your team, and they will coordinate with you, right? They will do the work which you are suggesting them, not directly as an authoritarian manager, but as a kind of a friend, a colleague who is trying to help them understand how the work has to be done. So the sixth skill that will still prevail in this modern day AI world is emotional intelligence. See to your left and right, you will always observe people are rushing here and there without having even an iota of time to listen to the issues and challenges. Forget about empathizing. People are not even able to sympathize with the people, right? Because the lives are so busy nowadays, especially into the metropolitan areas. If you observe, that is the reason when metropolitan people, when they go to the villages, they are superbly happy. So if you are able to understand the various emotions which are being displayed by an individual, and if you are able to respond accordingly, so that you will be not just sympathizing with the other people, but also you will try to console them and try to feel what is happening with them and react accordingly. That's what emotional intelligence essentially means. So that means that as a faculty, if I'm teaching a class and if a student comes late into the classroom, I should not be shouting at that person. I should try to understand why the guy is late. Maybe the person received a call from his home that someone is not feeling well and they have been hospitalized, because of which he or she is in a mental trauma, and that's the reason why that student is late in your classroom. So I've just shared one simple example where I have seen people reacting in the same situation with a huge amount of anger without even getting the data from the other person, that why someone is entering late into the classroom or why someone is not following the promise which they have made. So before opinionating on them or before being judgmental or creating a decision about them, always seek a kind of an answer from them, first of all, politely, so as to understand that why they were not able to meet the expectation that you have. And then once you get the data from there, you can make decision accordingly. But if you're not putting emotional intelligence into the process, then there is a huge possibility that you will end up with making decisions which are irrational, judgmental, chaotic, and are driven by the anxiety of the mankind, which has been prevailing in our brain since thousands and lakhs of years. So therefore, in modern day world where AI will always be there to assist you, but your emotional intelligence will still prevail over AI. Seventh skill which will still prevail in the world of AI is judgment and decision making. So when I say decision making, it is not just decision making on the basis of the data, but having the data driven decision making along with the intuitive decision making intertwined together, and then you are making the decision. That means it's not like that big data should always prevail in the world of AI, but it is also the human capabilities to identify the patterns into the dynamic changes happening around you and trying to find that whether data also supports it or not, and then accordingly you make a decision. That means do not leave entire decision making to machine learning or AI. Rather, do not even leave the entire decision making to your experiences and judgment. Have a juxtaposition of both sides of the brain, left brain and right brain. Left brain gives you analytical decision, while right brain gives you intuitive decisions which are based upon the judgment and the experience which a human brain has gathered since their life and also historically through the previous generations. Eighth skill, which will be a sought after skill even in this AI world, will be negotiation, right? Because AI can do negotiation, but the moment the other party gets to know that there is a bot sitting on next side, suddenly the interest in having the deal deteriorates. Imagine if a bot tries to sell you an insurance policy or any kind of banking product. How bad we feel, right? We feel something is lacking when we call a customer care and we get a chatbot voice. It does not look very familiar, right? Because our human brain thinks that the other party is trying to cut down the cost by bringing AI element into the picture. And therefore, for wide array of options, although operationally and efficiency wise, it will make sense for organizations, banking, or maybe the e-commerce websites to ensure that they are having chatbots so that they can reduce the workload of their actual human agents. But still, the human touch of interacting with someone will still always be prevailing. And that is precisely the reason why I want to emphasize on the negotiation. Whenever any kind of negotiation is happening on any kind of deal. So when I say negotiation, it doesn't mean only negotiating for your salary package with the employer. When I say negotiation, it also means, for example, buying a house or maybe having a home loan and deciding which bank you want to go for. So you want to ensure that you get the best possible prices with a human interaction, right? So you don't want a chatbot to be sitting in front of you and then interacting and negotiating with them. Because if we do that, then there is a huge amount of possibility. Number one, AI will definitely learn more about you and it will ensure that it triumphs on you in a better way. And second, you won't be satisfied, because a good negotiation is not that where one party wins over the other. A good negotiation is that where both parties shake their hands and go with a happy face, saying that we both had a win-win situation in this negotiation. So therefore, if you are a good negotiator, I can assure you your jobs will still be relevant, your skills will still be relevant in the modern day world. So the ninth skill, which is most difficult to acquire and even difficult to retain, is the cognitive flexibility. We have become so rigid in the modern day world that we don't like our plan to change much, right? Why? Because we think that it is creating chaos in our routine. But imagine the dynamic changes which are happening into the environment. There are various things which are happening into the environment around you, which are the uncontrollables. Right? So as they say, control the controllables, but most of the times our mind wanders towards the uncontrollable, and we are not able to emphasize on the controllables because we have invested huge amount of energy in trying to tame the uncontrollables. But as nature has its own way to play a spoil sport in your predictions, so will happen when you try to control the uncontrollables, right? Because uncontrollables are, number one, are beyond your reach or capability to handle with, and number two, most of the times uncontrollable are unforeseen. That means they might be happening for the first time, or even if they are happening multiple times, they will come up in different varieties. That's the reason why you want to ensure that you are having that flexibility. So you must have seen, right, when the typhoon comes, a tree which is tall but rigid will always fall. But a tree which is tall but is ready to just bend down a bit when any kind of typhoon is coming, it will ensure that it will have a longer life as compared to something which is rigid. So that's the reason you want to have cognitive flexibility. You don't want to get perturbed or disturbed because your plans are not going as you have planned for yourself. But let the nature also play some role in deciding your destiny and deciding where it wants to take to you. So have that cognitive flexibility a lot, and be open and appreciate about the cognitive flexibility which nature is bringing in front of you. 10th skill, which I can assure you is missing big time in India, and in AI world, its importance has further increased, is service orientation. Service orientation means that if you have taken certain task and you have promised to complete it in certain amount of time, then you will ensure that it gets done by hook or crook with the same kind of quality without any kind of compromise. And let me tell you, this is not easy to find in India. You check out anywhere, people will be trying to cut the corner by cutting the cost, by trying to give you substandard services, by trying to not fulfill your promise, or by over-promising you, or by mis-selling various products which are available into the market without realizing that it is deteriorating trust in a country which is already having a deficit of trust. So in a country where we already have a trust deficit, that means we don't trust each other so easily, and if we do so, it takes time for us to develop a trust. Imagine what happens if someone brings a service orientation where it doesn't matter. Every time the person is offering the service, it is guaranteed that it will get delivered within time, within the cost, within the promises which are being made. And that is the reason why you see any kind of company which is able to scale in the modern day world, they are able to do it because they have gathered the trust from their customer, and they have capacity and capability to ensure that the same trust is being respected every time a transaction is being made between the customer and the company. So if you can develop this service orientation in your mentality, in your work culture, in your ethics, in your values, I can assure you it doesn't matter whether the AI will come in its full-blown form of a strong AI or it remains as a weak AI. Your capability of having the service orientation, the skill set of ensuring that you give best possible service all the time to everyone with whom you are interacting will always prevail. So thank you so much for watching this video. Do like, share and subscribe this video if you liked it, and press the bell icon